Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving straight into the number 6 spot on the 2026 NXGN 50 list. We're talking about a name that's basically taken over English football right now. Arsenal's 16-year-old absolute sensation, Max Dowman. Look, if you follow the sport at all, you've definitely seen the wild headlines, the shattered records, and honestly, the massive expectations placed on this kid's shoulders. But today we're going to cut through all that sensationalism and break down exactly what is going on with this generational prospect.
Really quick though, before we unpack the hype and the stark reality surrounding this young prodigy, please take a quick second to hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. It honestly helps us so much to keep bringing you these deep dive explainers. Okay, here's our agenda for today. 1. The record-breaking prodigy. 2. The Arsenal Academy blueprint. 3. Navigating the hype machine. And finally 4. Protecting a teenage star.
Section 1. The record-breaking prodigy.
So before he was even sniffing the first team, Dowman absolutely dominated the U18 and U21 academy levels. I mean, just look at these numbers. He racked up 27 goals and 10 assists in just 34 games. Just think about that for a second. We're talking about a kid who made his U18 debut when he was just 13 years old. And he was scoring in the UEFA Youth League at 14 against Atalanta. He was consistently showing off this insane technical brilliance against guys who were literally much older than him.
And you know, his rapid rise during the 2025-2026 season was exactly the same story. This wasn't some slow, cautious trickle into the senior squad. In August 2025, he made his Premier League debut against Leeds. He was just 15 years old and 235 days old. Then, by October, he becomes the club's youngest ever starter in a Carabao Cup win against Brighton. And if that wasn't enough, just days after that, he shattered Youssoufa Moukok's record, becoming the youngest player in Champions League history against Slavia Prague. The kid was literally breaking monumental decades-old records in a matter of months.
But the absolutely crucial point we need to highlight is this exact age right here. 16 years and 73 days. This was the moment of his biggest domestic impact so far. Picture it, March 14th, 2026. He comes on as a late sub for Martin Zubimendi, right? And then, in the 97th minute, he sprints forward and scores to seal a 2-0 victory against Everton. With that single strike, he shattered James Vaughan's record from way back in 2005, officially becoming the youngest goal scorer in the entire history of the Premier League. Just incredible.
All right, moving on to Section 2, the Arsenal Academy blueprint. So the talent is totally undeniable, but you've got to wonder, how does a club actually manage a player who is this young? Well, it's really important to remember that Dowman actually isn't the first to break through like this at Arsenal. He's following directly in the footsteps of Ethan Nwaneri, who, by the way, still holds the record for the youngest Premier League debut ever at 15 years and 181 days. Along with Miles Lewis-Skelly, Nwaneri really helped establish this clear, elite pathway for Hale and Academy prospects. Arsenal's strategy here shows they simply aren't afraid to integrate youth with their experienced squad, as long as the talent is there.
However, there's a really fascinating career comparison playing out as we speak. Recent reports from the BBC actually suggest that Arsenal might listen to offers for both Nwaneri and Lewis-Skelly this coming summer. Think about that. These were players who, just a very short time ago, were hailed as the undisputed future of the club. This serves as a massive reality check for everyone. It proves that early, record-breaking exposure absolutely does not guarantee long-term success at the same club. It perfectly highlights the hidden dangers of a rapid ascension and exactly why managing Dowman's career trajectory is just so incredibly delicate right now.
And that is exactly why Mikel Arteta and the club are taking a super cautious approach when it comes to Dowman's minutes management. Yes, he did play in 13 first-team games during the 25-26 season, but if you look closer, his total minutes were heavily restricted. He was mostly used as a substitute. Tactically speaking, Arteta has largely kept him out on the right flank. Why do that? Well, because the wing is just a slightly more forgiving environment for a young player to find his feet, especially compared to the absolute chaos in the center of the pitch. They are essentially easing a literal schoolboy into a fiercely competitive senior environment, step by very careful step.
Which brings us to Section 3, navigating the hype machine.
Now, of course, careful management at the club level doesn't stop the rest of the world from talking, right? With great talent comes the hype machine. Some prominent pundits, most notably former England international Paul Scholes, have been heavily campaigning for the 16-year-old to be fast-tracked straight into Thomas Tuchel's England squad for the upcoming World Cup in North America. Scholes' argument is basically, if you're good enough, you're old enough. He believes Dowman's technical ability could be a huge asset on the biggest stage in global sports. But on the flip side, you've got a chorus of expert concerns urging everyone to just cool their jets. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta explicitly asked the media to bring the temperature down. Former England defender Gary Cahill and ex-Arsenal star Theo Walcott have also spoken out about this. Walcott even went as far as suggesting Dowman should flat-out reject a call-up if it actually came. They're all warning that throwing a teenager into the head-spinning pressure cooker of a senior World Cup could completely fry his mind.
Now, we aren't taking a side here between the pundits and the coaches, but it's really important to look objectively at the reality of the England squad. Experts are pointing out that Thomas Tuchel already has incredibly deep midfield and attacking options. I mean, the competition includes established global superstars like Phil Foden, Jude Bellingham, Declan Rice, and Morgan Rogers. Because there's no desperate shortage of English attackers right now, many argue there is absolutely zero need to accelerate Dowman's already unprecedented trajectory. Why risk the massive psychological toll that a major tournament brings?
Okay, let's wrap things up with Section 4, protecting a teenage star.
This stark contrast we're seeing between the massive international media hype and the reality of a developing youth leads perfectly into how Arsenal and Dowman's family are actually protecting him off the pitch. You really have to juxtapose the image of this kid playing under the lights in the Champions League with his totally mundane daily reality. For example, because of FA's safeguarding rules for minors, Dowman literally cannot change in the senior dressing room. He has to get changed completely separately. He has to be officially chaperoned while he's with the team. He's only on a pre-contract agreement right now because he can't sign professional terms until he turns 17 this coming December. And, get this, on top of all of that, he still has to maintain a life balance by studying for his summer GCSE exams, literally just like any other teenager in England.
Furthermore, to shield him from exploitation, Arsenal's own protection policies are backed up by some incredibly smart family management. Despite being absolutely flooded with offers, his family actually rejected all the major talent agencies. Instead, his father Rob, who is a CEO and a grassroots coach, and his brother Ethan, who holds an economics degree, both studied for and passed the notoriously difficult FIFA agent exams. They got their official licenses so they could manage his career entirely within the family. They partnered up with a sports legal firm, Onside Law, for contract talks, and they are deliberately taking their time, not rushing into any overwhelming commercial boot deals just yet.
And that brings us to the end of today's explainer. Considering the massive hype we've seen, the cautionary tales of the players who came just before him, and the incredibly strict family and club safeguards that are now in place, we want to leave you to ponder this one vital question. Has the modern football ecosystem finally learned how to safely nurture a 16-year-old prodigy? Let us know what you think down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and keep learning.